Yo, what's going on, guys? I just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and oh my god, what a film. Okay, so the film is fun. It is a fun film. I went in there and I had a fun time. Was it a good film, though? In my opinion, not really. I think that it had a lot of problems. And I think I'll list them all here. No spoilers, by the way, just to be clear. I'm not going to be spoiling anything about the film. But let me talk about like what I think the problems were. The first one I think is the tone. The tone of the film is very inconsistent and there isn't much time to like switch in between it. Like obviously most Marvel movies, even the more serious ones, also have jokes, but I feel like they do a good job of balancing it. In this one, it seems a bit too like unbalanced and uneven. I think that's like the thing about the entire film, to be honest. It's just that like goes from here to here to that. It's just not. It just doesn't work in my opinion. It's too goofy at times, but not enough. It's weird. For example, a threat in the film. I think we see he's in the trailers, but like Modoc, right? Not gonna talk too much about it. Not gonna give any like spoilers, of course. But this guy's supposed to be a threat. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Things like that, like where characters are supposed to be super powerful, yet aren't, and that just kind of like doesn't feel like there's a consistency to the film. It's very inconsistent. It's very like their power levels are all over the place. Or even like Thanos when he had the six Infinity Stones type shit. Like I feel like they did a good job of at least kind of keeping that in order, kind of. And kind of explaining like why Thanos isn't like this godlike being against the Avengers because he's not trying to kill them type shit. He's already all powerful. But with this one, it doesn't make sense how you go from this to that with the main villain Kang. No spoilers. I'm really trying not to spoil anything. But yeah, no, just very inconsistent power level. Where we get this one thing, but we see another thing. Yeah, no, don't work. Okay, something else that I noticed about the film that felt really like bad to me was the way that the scenes kind of like transitioned. I made a comparison to someone before, and this is how I kind of described it. Let's say you were watching a PowerPoint, right? And on one slide they have like this list of ideas of what's gonna happen, and then they go on to the next slide with another list of ideas. However, there is no transition in between the slides, if that makes sense. Where we go from like one idea to another. For example, no spoilers. But a character looks in a certain direction, right? Just a look, no dialogue, no talking. We skip a scene to something else, and then we go back to that, and they're in a completely different location where they had looked before. To me, that just felt really off because I don't know how they get there. You know, and it's just like teleporting. It's like they did slash TP in Minecraft and just went somewhere else. And that's something that happens throughout the film, where I feel like scenes don't have like that time to establish something. Like maybe one or two more seconds of like just establishing things. Like there was supposed to be like this one, and this is a problem with the action scenes as well. That kind of structure of like they'll be like, "Oh, I'll handle this," right? But you don't see how they handle it. I don't know how they're supposed to handle it, but they do handle it, and I don't know what's happening throughout the action scenes. Because I'm just kind of confused. It's just like it happened like once, to be honest, that happened. There was a pretty big fight scene, and not knowing what was happening there was very confusing. There was a lot happening. That was like their Avengers level thing or whatever, and it just didn't make any sense to me. I'll talk about it more specifically in the spoiler section. But yeah, that was like a main flaw. Another thing is that like the characters are inconsistent, and maybe it's because of like the power level thing I talked about. But Kang, I don't understand him at all. I'll talk about it more in spoilers. But I think that the actual performance is great. And honestly, throughout the entire film, I like the performances of most of the actors. I do say most. The main ones are like Scott and Kang. Those are like the main like performances that are really good. There are some very powerful scenes with both of them. I think they did a good job. Everyone else did all right too. I like Cassie's in the film, Ant-Man's daughter, and I think she did pretty good. I liked her. I wish that the film was better, but I liked her. I think she was a good inclusion. I think there's potential with her. Assuming it's a better film. And yeah. In fact, the film also has a problem with stakes, where I don't feel any tension whatsoever. It just feels like anything can happen at any point and nothing matters. I don't know half of the characters' names because they don't tell us their names, I'm pretty sure. I know what they look like, I know what they talk like. I don't know their name. There's like Muscle Lady, don't know her name. Jar Guy, I don't know his name. Blob Guy, fucking knows. But yeah, that's basically it, honestly. I think that good parts of the film are the performances. The actors, I think, do their best. The jokes are funny. I don't know if I mentioned that the jokes are funny, but I laughed. I enjoyed the film either way. I know I'm being very negative because there's a lot to be negative about, but I really did enjoy the film. And I think that a lot of people are going to hate MODOK. I didn't hate MODOK. I just thought it was like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. But that's also how I feel about this film in general. It's just whatever. And that's not a good thing, I don't think. I think that a lot of the MCU's like formulaic flaws are showing right now. Or maybe it's just that the quality is worse. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's fatigue or if it's actually getting worse or not. I don't know. All I know is that it is worse. And it's not the same. So it's just like the film is just kind of bad. So let me just give it like the score already. It was really hard coming up with the score idea and a number because I enjoyed the film. I truly did. I had a good time. I had a fun time watching it. And where like films like Thor and the other one, okay, let's go. Doctor Strange, were very flawed in like how their plot kind of worked and very inconsistent in the universe. This one I didn't feel that much, although it was confusing at points. So maybe I just didn't understand the inconsistencies because they explained a few things about the multiverse, but I kind of don't get it. I honestly don't. I don't understand how Kang is meant to be this all-powerful being. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I've seen everything in the MCU. I don't understand it. So I think the film does a really bad job of giving you an idea about the multiverse, which I think is just like the best approach they could take, to be honest. Don't try to explain it. Just do it. Because I think whatever they do is just going to fall apart. Because it has fallen apart in every other film that they've done. In Doctor Strange, I don't understand the multiverse. It's inconsistent to the universe. It's just like I'm not gonna talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Those are other films. But yeah, let me give it a score. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with, I think it deserves a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 6. I'll go low end. I'll go low end because I feel like looking back, I'm gonna hate the film more. I'll go low end. I think it's a really weak start to Phase 5. It doesn't give me the impression that Kang is that big of a threat. The film had no stakes. Things came out of nowhere. I didn't feel anything. Things didn't make sense. Yeah, no, that was just it. It just didn't make sense. This film needed to be good. It needed to do more to set up Phase 5. Set up Kang being this like threat. And it did not do that. Flawed film, I think you'd still have fun. If you want to watch a Marvel film, I would say you can wait for it to come out on Disney Plus. Because it really is inconsequential in my opinion. Like, this film does not matter. At all, TBH. If you can wait, I'd say wait. If you want to go watch it, it'll still be a fun time, I think. I think you'll enjoy it. But it's not a good film. I think that if I'm looking at it like from a fundamental point of view, it's not a good film. And I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. Maybe even a 5. I think even a 6, or sorry, a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 6, like, if you're drunk. But yeah, guys, that'll be it. I'll be doing spoiler section in the future because I have to go to get to class. So, peace out, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.